It's like my whole thought when people like talk about like this really isn't necessarily shadow, but like my whole thought when it comes to like how people talk about like the music industry and like movies being like connected to like the devil and they worship the devil. My real opinion of that is that, or has always been that, like the average person associates kind of like, like the Abrahamic religions kind of associate like money with evil.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've always felt like the elite or whoever people think is running the world maybe use that to their advantage to be like, oh, money's associated with evil. So if the average person believes it's evil to have money, then they'll subconsciously like block themselves from it,
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, so that's how I feel like people maybe empower or kind of weaponize the thought or idea of evil.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's possible. My only thing is, right, I don't feel like unconsciousness is, or like I don't really feel like malicious intent is ever usually conscious. Like not a lot
Yeah.
anyway. Um I just don't feel like there's these like highly clear kind of conscious thinking humans out there who are just like, yeah, like let's really fuck over the human race. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like unconsciousness is insidious in its own way, like through the nature
Yeah.
of being unconscious. Like everyone, like I just can't fathom the person who's out there really feeling like they are genuinely, truly wanting to play the villain and not a hero in their own story. Even reading into a lot of, I don't know, serial killers and stuff, I'm like, these people are like fractured. You know what I mean? Like there's aspects of them that are shadowy and active, but they're also trying to get their needs met in fucked up ways. But like they're never like, no, I just really like being the bad guy all the time. And I think it's
Yeah.
like the epitome of fun. Like there's it's attention seeking, it's all kinds of shit. But it's like it's just from wounding.
Yeah.
And even then, like a lot of them still like helping people. Even the narcissists that are like now kind of springing up on the internet being like, I'm diagnosed as a narcissist, this is how I think, blah blah blah. They like helping people. Like it's just, I feel like it's just so intrinsic to us. So I don't feel like there's, I don't know, necessarily like this fucking, like the elite one percenters who are just like maliciously fucking planning out all this bullshit in the world. They're
Yeah.
doing
Well,
it,
you
but
also you also have to think like, the same way that me and you maybe are like conditioned a certain way subconsciously by our parents. I would imagine these families who maybe come from money also program their kids to be a certain way,
yeah.
which would probably reflect back that, like, maybe there's like the elitist like mentality.
Yeah.
So it's like they're not actually like conscious of what they're doing. They're just like kind of being programmed by like how their parents were raised by their parents. And then if it's like generational wealth or like somebody like the Queen of England where like their family is just like been in that position, like
Yeah.
of course they're going to be viewed in a certain way as being like evil or whatever because it's just like they've always been in that position, so they're going to be that reflection for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I saw a reel a while back talking about Andrew Tate and how, you know, he's got this really fucked up perspective on masculinity and femininity and women and men. And, uh, you know, this person's kind of, it was like the person in the reels talking about Andrew Tate talking to a therapist online, and it's recorded. And he effectively admits that like his dad just wasn't there for him, and he gained this kind of fucked up perspective on, you know, what makes a man and all of this stuff. And it's like you can supposedly hear and feel just how viscerally wounded his inner child is because his dad didn't fucking love him, and he attributed all these things to like the earning of love from his dad. It's exactly the same thing with all of these kind of families, like you said. Like,
Yeah.
people who are that obsessed with money don't have abundance. They have a lack wound that is manifesting on the other end of the pole.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the money will never be enough and they have to hoard it and they have to keep it away from people. And it's like, it's just more wounding.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how I've kind of always viewed them, as just like a reflection. You know, it's like you're looking at money in their hands as being evil because maybe that the average person struggles with like lack. So it's like you just automatically associate your suffering with them. So then
Yeah,
you view them as evil because they have what you need, supposedly, to cure your suffering. And like, why
exactly.
won't they give it to you? You know?
It's externalizing your power. It's like,
Yeah.
this isn't fair. You have to provide this thing for me that I lack internally. And it's also like, obviously it's emotionally understandable, and like in the physical world from the human perspective, all that stuff is true, right? The billionaires are hoarding the wealth and blah blah blah. But also the universe is infinite. We print the fucking money. We create the systems. All of this stuff is a product of the collective consciousness. It's not a product of the 1%. Like 1% of the people do not control 100% of the manifestations. It just doesn't work that way. We manifest wealth inequality from our wounds, like you said, the lack wounds within.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like, even I was thinking about this today in terms of like money manifestation and stuff, because I realize like how quickly I manifest things when I'm not attached to them at all. Like, it's
Hmm.
like dumb quick. Like,
Hmm.
I literally today, it was funny. This is why I was thinking about it. So like I was walking into my house, and like when I did the extension on my house, I redid like my front porch, and I have like this like it's like a 1 by 10 piece of white wood in the front on the like front part of my porch. And like this one area gets like moldy, probably from like the trees and stuff. So I'm like walking into my house, and I'm like, that really bothers me. I got to take care of that. Like, just like that. No attachment to it, no thought, no nothing. Like, oh,
Mm.
I just don't like that. I want to change that. Not like I got to get it done or anything. It was just that a quick thought. So I go in my house and I go to the beach with my kids today. And I'm driving home, and my father was doing something at my house. And he calls me and he's like, oh, what's going on? He's like, oh, I had these kids working at your house today. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know. These kids came by. They were like 10 years old, and they had a power washer, and they asked if they could power wash the front of your house. So I gave them like $20, and they did it. And I came home and it was clean.
Nice.
And I was just like, all right. Simultaneously, driving home, for some reason, something came on the radio, and it was talking about like lottery or something. Like, this guy won the lottery in like where I live or whatever. And I was like getting into like the energy of that, like winning the lottery. And I could feel like the excitement in me, like building up, like, oh man, like it would just be like nice. And I was just like playing with the thought in my head. But then I was just like, I am like so emotionally attached to money because it's making me feel better, like knowing that I won the lottery, like because I was like visualizing that, just like it was just playing in my head a little bit,
Mm.
and I was like, wow, I like my mood changed because I had this like feeling of like I tapped into the energy of like what it would be like to win the lottery. And it's
Mm.
like I'm so attached to it that I had this like emotional reaction. Like, how do I get it where I just don't think about it? You
Um,
know?
I'm not sure you necessarily have to. Like a lot of the manifestation talk is around using that excitement because the emotional charge is part of the manifestation as well, right? Like the positive emotional charge, anyway, is part of what can kind of send the signal out to the universe to bring it to you. But you have to like let go of the expectation of how it's going to look. Like if you just use the idea of like winning the lottery, then feel the feeling of excitement, let go of the idea of lottery and just hold on to the like the feeling of like what it would feel like to have that financial relief for yourself and be in that. And then supposedly that will bring it to you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's why, yeah, but I feel like the emotional reaction is because, like, if you're grabbing from the void, right? Because
Mhm.
that's what I feel like it is. It's like the void is infinite,
Yeah.
right? But if you just like you're not attached to it, it's like non-attachment is basically almost like a form of shadow work
Yeah. Oh,
because
and
you're
it's the
just like,
result.
well, no, but it's also, yeah, it's the result, but it's also like you're, yeah, like you're letting go of something, so there's no real emotional reaction. You're observing something without like a perspective in a way.
Mhm.
So it's like if you, in terms of manifestation, I feel like if you look at things without perspective and you're just like, oh, this would be nice to experience this, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's really like purely about the experience. It's not like I want to experience this because like money's going to make me feel good because it's not. It's really just about the experience.
Yeah. Well, it's about the what you think that the money's going to give you, which is, you know,
Yeah.
the freedom and the moving and the blah blah blah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I always feel like when I don't actually have like the emotional reaction feels good, like, and I feel like it gives you the momentum sometimes, or it
Mm.
keeps you in like that space of like more of a gratitude than like a judgment.
Mm.
But I feel like when I'm non-attached to things, that's when I have these like instant like manifestations.
Me too. Yeah. And it is like that's the goal, right? You do manifest from the void. I think for bigger things, really big things, it feels like part of your life's fucking journey and lesson and your south node, north node thing to like move to the mountains and do all the stuff that you want. Like I'm not sure that the best mode of action will be to like reach complete non-attachment and then just instantly manifesting it. Like I think it is more about like the fun of the challenge of like getting there as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because that's what I was thinking about actually was that like like I want the change to happen soon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how do I get there from without like, like if you quit your job, like how do you have the stability, instantly instead of gradually?
Maybe you don't. Maybe
Yeah,
you,
but I don't want
the
that. I
person
don't
with,
want that
well,
experience.
maybe,
That's
maybe the person who has been kind of secure in, but also imprisoned by stability for their entire life is playing with that theme.
yeah, but so like okay, I like this thread because I'm thinking like I feel like there's like a connection between stability and like looking at things logically, and emotion and maybe lack of stability.
Yeah, there is a transition period between the stability of feeling like the mind controls all experience and the world around, leaning into the emotionality, which feels scary and uncontrollable at times, unstable at times, and getting through to the other side and realizing that the stability exclusively comes from within rather than the mind and the kind of structures and programs that we've held ourselves in place with. And being like, the stability then comes from the flow, going with the flow of the universe, and you can be in the midst of chaos and everything breaking down and you still feel completely inherently secure within self, and that's when you're like instantly manifesting things.
Yeah. Well, because, yeah, like if you're living more in your emotional body, you're just like reacting to the now and
Mm-hmm.
kind of just feeling your way through it instead of
It
like trying to understand why or like where we're going from here, you know?
when so like what we're kind of doing isn't moving you from the mind to the emotions, and that's it. What we're doing with this work is clearing out the emotional layer, which is really a result of the belief layer of reality. So all these negative beliefs sit above the emotionality. When one of those negative beliefs gets triggered, it manifests as emotionality. At which point, with the mind, you can either go, oh, okay, I'm feeling this thing, like I'm consciously, like logically, thought wise, acknowledging that I'm feeling this emotion. You let the emotion pass through, it actually clears out that watery layer, and then you the belief just changes, and it's all of those beliefs, like that series of positive beliefs that you're like slowly switching on one by one, like the fucking switchboard in Jurassic Park, that gives you that inherent sense of internal stability, because then your beliefs become incredibly simplified. They are not tied to all of the bullshit that you learned in your childhood. You're just like, oh, here's what I believe. I believe that I am the conscious creator of my reality, co-creating everything with source. I believe that I'm inherently worthy. I believe that I'm inherently lovable. All these things, right? But your beliefs are so simple at that point. You just know that you're supported by the universe. You know that you're worth all of these things. Because you don't have all the triggers, you just start floating through life. I
Yeah.
mean, the triggers keep coming, but like even my life right now, like everything that I have around me, as unstable as it might look to one person or another, like I'm fucking loving life. I have a pretty easy life. Um, I'm manifesting everything that I want, and part of my gig is like that I like to chase my triggers. I want to eat all my demons. So always my world is bringing me more of myself. But everything else around me is fucking, it's pretty solid. Like it's insanely unstable from the kind of old perspective, but I feel great. It's just going to work. It's just going to work out.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great explanation.
Did it make sense?
Yeah. Do you want to go back to the reel? Because we kind of
Yeah.
got off the tracks a little bit.
Yeah. I want to hear the real.
Okay, so I'll play it. It's just to give the person credit. It's conspiracy underscore Peter, and it's like a Family Guy heavy, I guess, conspiracy. Somebody sent this to me. Anyway, I'm gonna play the clip and then see how it goes. They all start innocent, then they turn into demons.
Okay, whoa. You mean like literally?
Not horns and fire, but symbols, stages, rituals. They become archetypes.
You mean like Brittany, Miley, Katie?
Exactly. They follow the same path. Virgin, goddess, slut loose woman, possessed.
Wait, possessed?
Not just rebellion, full inversion. From innocent girl to channeling spirits on stage. Remember when Katy Perry went from singing gospel to dressing as a witch on live TV?
So it's not just music evolution?
No, it's psychological warfare. You idolize the image and become the behavior
behavior. So turning into a demon is just a marketing plan. Exactly. And the transformation is scripted. They start as relatable, then seductive, then chaotic, then broken. And every teen follows along. Because when you program the idol, you program the people. And when she breaks down on live TV, that's the ritual's finale. Break the icon, break the mirror. So why do they do it? Because icons shape culture. If you hijack the symbol, you hijack the soul. Damn. So all those meltdowns were scheduled? Controlled collapse. They burn out on cue. So what's the solution? Stop worshiping idols. Start protecting the mind. No more pop stars? Just no more submission. Because if you follow the script, you become the role. So the role becomes you? And the story's no longer yours. Man, this goes deeper than Spotify. If you destroy the archetype, you erase the soul.
All right. That's the clip.
Okay, ready? First of all, the phenomenal polaristic paradox of this person thinking that they are fucking geniusly spotting all the evil conspiracy theories, all the demons doing fucking implanting, blah, blah, blah. And yet here they are spreading fear amongst the collective, spreading control, like their own weird, fucked up, unconscious sense of control throughout the collective. They're positioning themselves as a teacher and a leader who frees people from the collective consciousness, and yet they're trapping people into fear-based belief systems. The world's out to get you. People are planning rituals that are programming you and brainwashing you and blah, blah, blah. Can you get any more fear-based? Can you get any more like terrified of the external mirror?
Yeah.
Fuck. And then on top of that, all those women are just women who are going through a very similar evolution that I'm going through, which is like, fuck being the maiden, fuck being what everyone else wants you to be, fuck being just sexy enough, but also like, I don't know, cute and innocent and blah, 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 blah. Like all of these people are just going through their own natural, like feminine evolution publicly. Unfortunately, publicly, like this is what publicity gets you, is like you become like your entire life and your expression and your creativity and everything becomes something that the world stage gets to criticize and poke at.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Well, you think about it, like,
add?
no, well, like, you think about, like, we just started a podcast. Maybe we have, like, 50 people who listen to us, and they all project, like, their ideas onto us or who we are just from, like, hearing us talk. But they don't really know us. You know, so imagine, like, somebody who Britney Spears, who, like, has millions of people listening to her, and they're all projecting like their version of who she is on her, and it's like you don't even know the person.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like you have no clue what they're like.
It's exactly my point with Aubrey Marcus. Like, I just don't feel like it's you can have like, I mean, everyone's going to do what they want anyway, but like you can kind of dissect it. But I feel like with these public figures, it's so much more useful to use them as like barometers for the collective, to understand where the collective's at, what energies are hitting you. Like, think about like all of that energy that got inspired by that event was about the dark magician or the dark masculine and the fucking dark feminine and the martyr. And has that not been the fucking theme for like everyone at the moment? Certainly has been for people around me.
Well, yeah, like I always, even like, I mean, this is the best one to like trigger people. It's like even Trump, like, or Trump and Joe Biden. It's like half the population is angry and half the population is asleep. Like,
yeah, supposedly.
What's a better fucking symbol? You know, like we attracted Trump as a collective in America. Like, so many repressed, like passive aggressive, angry people in our collective. Like, who would be a better symbol? And like all the materialism and like the like capitalist, like money hungry energy. Like, who's a better symbol than Trump?
Yeah. I mean, even his name, right? I feel like he is literally the Trump card on the collective.
Yeah.
Like, he is like he so feels like, because we didn't make a series of decisions very consciously, he ended up being the thing that was going to like trigger the awakening of even more people. You know what I mean? Like, every time we as a collective, and therefore we as an individual, because whatever you are as an individual is going to line up with the collective. whatever decisions you make as an individual are going to be manifesting the greater kind of collective choices.
Yeah.
And we clearly didn't make all the greatest choices in a row and then ended up with what we have.
Or maybe I don't know. Like I think like it has to come up. So it's like who's gonna trigger people more than a character like him?
Exactly. Like,
So
it's
maybe
just
he's actually the perfect person. You know, like that's what I'm saying. It's like
precisely.
like
It's how you use the mirror.
yeah. He also has very. I love. I don't know if you ever looked into his astrology, but he has Regulus in a certain placement. I forget. I don't know off the top of my head. I should have looked into that, but I know he has like Regulus in a certain placement that like protects him, and he also something that I thought actually it was when I started getting into this actual fixed star. What was interesting on the day of his assassination attempt, I believe Algol transited his ascendant, which was really pretty interesting. Like on the exact day.
Algo transit. Yeah. Wait, what happened when that Sorry, I was looking up his fucking chart so I could tell you where Regulus was.
I'll look
What
it up
happened
right
on what
now.
was the day?
I'll look it up right now with so basically anybody who's not familiar, the fixed star Algol um is representative of like the headless the decapitated Medusa head. It's tied to
Mhm.
Medusa. Um it it's considered both like a very it can be considered very like a spiritual like protective energy, but it also represents like head wounds, the headless self, decapitation,
Yeah.
and
Enlightenment therefore.
yes, yeah, just like well, the same thing as like Kali, it's like the headless.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it transited.
He has Regulus and Mars on his ascendant, by the way.
Don't you have Regulus in Mars?
Yeah, my Mars is like 2 minutes away from Regulus.
Yeah, so
So I'm so goddamn
you are
regal.
basically a feminine manifestation of Donald Trump.
Yeah. That's the conclusion. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Fuck,
All
I
right.
know. Shit.
Uh, yeah, I was trying to find.
What was the event that was when
Oh,
Algol was
when he got shot in the ear.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry. So
Well,
it I guess it conjunct his midheaven. So it
oh, on
colors
that
like
day.
public perception, career path, and fame.
Yeah. Do you feel like people doubled down? I haven't really been following politics for a couple of years. Do you feel like people doubled down on supporting him when that happened?
I think like people I know who like do support him saw him as more of like a martyr, like he's
Mm.
actually like fighting like some sort of opposition that's trying to like destroy America.
And she quite literally is the martyr, Medusa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because I was thinking about America today a little bit because um, America is a cancer.
Is it?
Yeah, July 4th.
True. Very emotional.
Yeah. I don't know. But it was interesting. I don't know why. How did we get into this? I lost my train of thought now.
We were talking about Trump and being representative of the collective.
Oh, all right. So, yeah. So, any more thoughts on that reel before? Because I think we were off track from that.
I just think everything like conspiracy theory fear related is a projection of itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just this whole fucking thing is just to pick your poison. It's like does the
Yeah, but
world get more exciting when you feel like, the whole collective is like brainwashed goons and there's like a fucking sneaky elite who's like pulling the strings with genius, intellect, intent, blah blah blah. Like it's just a fucking video game. it's
yeah, but I
just
think, but it's like anything. It's like it makes thing. It's like what makes your experience more interesting.
That's what I said. Like what makes it more fun? Like is it more
Well,
fun to think of you as like out there in the world, a spiritual warrior going up against the fucking brainwashers and blah blah blah, or does it make your world more fun if it's just
well,
like, well, for me anyway?
that's why I kind of stay away from stuff like the star seed stuff, or or like I don't know. I
Ooh.
kind
I
of
want to
that's
chew on
why
that.
why.
Why? Why do you stay away from it because of that?
Well, it's like all right. If I think I always liked mediumship because it's like if you can give like evidential messages, like if you're grieving somebody and I'm like, this is your grandma, she looked like this, she was this was her career, this is how she died, and I'm giving you evidence that like represents something to you that means something to you and you can like kind of prove it.
Mm.
That's one thing, but it's like when you're like these people who are like, oh, I'm sent here from Sirius star system to like save Earth and transition it to the new Earth, and it's like I don't know. Like I'm not saying that's not possible, and I'm not saying you know it's not necessarily a thing, but I think people like latch on to this like story of like we're here to save the world, where like I've always felt like we're moving in that direction one way or another because if like I'm working on myself and you're working on yourself, like the collective is shifting, but it
If
doesn't
you're
mean like
working on
we're.
yourself, the collective is shifting.
I
Full
think
stop.
so.
It doesn't have to involve anyone else because you are the one who aligns yourself with whichever version of Earth that you want to be on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Mm. Mm.
So, like I don't know. I think like the whole like oh the Earth needs these like star seeds to change the world is kind of like part of like the savior complex idea.
So it's you wanting to be the savior and rejecting saviorism externally.
Yeah. Plus, like the whole light language shit, it's like, all right, we get it.
Do we get it?
I don't get it, but I'm saying we get why you're doing it.
Do we get why they're doing it? Why do
Why
you
do
think
you
they're doing
think?
it? I already said this on a previous podcast. I've told you.
I know, I know. Why do they? I don't know. I think it's people who are trying to interpret energy and they're just like making sounds for like maybe frequencies that aren't interpretable in a
I think
language.
those I think those frequencies are more than interpretable. I just don't think that they necessarily have the like capacity to grasp them. But it comes through regardless. It comes through a different filter.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not a fan.
Why?
Um, Feels like a show.
In what way? Everything's a show.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know, like what? It just feels like you need something to like if I'm sitting here and just like holding space in quiet or like having the intention of like supporting you or have the intention of like sending you healing, like why do we have to do anything? Like why do we even have to talk necessarily?
Well, yeah, but then where's the fun in that?
Um, I don't know. I kind of like quiet.
Should we just shut up for the rest of the podcast? We'll just sit here in silence. What are you?
Well,
What does this
maybe
have to
they'll.
do with star seeds?
I don't know. We want just going off on our usual tangents. Um, I think people would feel the energy. No,
Would they?
I don't know. Would they? Should we just stop talking and do like an hour episode and just see what people think? If they
Sounds shit.
feel,
Sounds really unentertaining for me. Fuck everyone else. I don't want to sit here in silence doing nothing.
yeah. Um,
Why do you not like the starseed thing?
because it's just like it just feels like fantasy. It doesn't feel like something that's like provable or like I don't know. I guess it's the
And
logic
yet,
part of
and
me
yet you've
that
spoken to the Syrians
I don't
just
know
as much as
that.
you've spoken. You've spoken to your grandma. You've spoken to other people's grandparents. You've spoken to like of all the things that come to you in your clairvoyance. Why the aliens are the only one that you're just like, sounds sus.
No, it doesn't sound sus. It just sounds like something a hill I wouldn't die on.
Don't die on it, but why are you so against it?
I'm not necessarily against it. I just think like I
Mm,
think people go like full overboard and it's like I don't know.
you know that I'm asking you these questions already knowing the answers because I've asked you all of them before, right?
Maybe they changed.
Maybe, and yet they don't feel like they've changed. It feels like you're circling the whole thing that you don't like people externalizing their power because it makes you feel insecure in your reality because you feel like you are affected by the collective's choices.
Yeah. It's funny. So I did jujitsu tonight and what was that?
Ooh.
I
Ooh.
show what?
What was that? Something fell. What was it?
Yeah. It
That's a
was like
synchronicity. Are you kidding me? Go and get it. What is that?
it's like it was a candle.
Okay. I think you should light it. Or don't. Do whatever
It
you
went
want.
under my bed.
Oh.
So I was doing jujitsu tonight, and it's funny because like I think I was actually talking to you about this because it was concerning my son, or maybe I was talking to somebody else about it. I always get I'm a bigger guy and I'm stronger, and
Mm-hmm.
like I always got this thing that like people who were like um, weaker was always thought I was like rough with them,
Mm-hmm.
but I was always trying to be like conscious of my own strength because I didn't want to hurt anybody because I always felt like I was stronger than people. And somebody told me not to be rough tonight before I like rolled with them. Like I didn't even roll with them yet. And they
Mm-hmm.
said not to be rough. And
Mm-hmm.
it bothered me inside. I was just like, I should just smash this person.
Okay, what did it bother?
What did I do?
What did it bother?
Oh,
What,
it
what was the
bothered me. Oh,
let's
why did it
talk.
bother me? Because it's like I am trying to consciously be gentle in the first place.
So someone's telling you what to do and you're already doing it, and that is like
Yeah,
the epitome of yeah.
yeah.
This is all tying back to mom.
The epitome of like anti Aquarius. Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't tell me what to do. You know,
Yeah.
because
I
I'm gonna
think
do the opposite.
I think I've heard people say that this is called pathological demand avoidance, and people would also attribute it to like neurodivergence,
Yeah. Oh,
just for extra
definitely,
flavors.
definitely. PDA seems like such a made up thing, though. I don't know.
Everything's a made up thing. We're just using words to
Yeah, like
categorize
why do we have to
energies.
call it something? But I guess
Why
I
do you have to
have
call
that.
Aquarius energy something?
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Just because people like playing with labels, it helps to
Yeah, I just feel like
set
Western
parameters.
medicine feels so like
I don't like it
scientific
either.
materialist, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like putting words and labels on things that don't necessarily need them and
Yeah,
feel
you could
too
just say I'm an
restrictive.
asshole. Like,
Yeah, you
you
could.
know, you don't have to make up like a whole phrase.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just call me an asshole.
So you
Yeah,
got PDA when someone told you to be gentle when you were already trying to be gentle.
yeah, and I'm teaching my kids this so bad, like so strongly. I'm
Teaching
bad
them
with
what
that stuff.
specifically?
Like just to like not listen to authority at all, and like just you know,
Well, is that authority or is that someone making a request of you in, not the ideal way?
yeah. Well, even like I was at the beach today, right? And
Mm,
this pisses me off, right? This is a perfect trigger.
used to it.
So this is a big beach, right? It's like the state beach that we go to, and they have like say it's like 300 yards of beachfront, right?
Hmm.
Today was a busy day because the kids have off from school for a holiday, and like there's always a lot of people at this beach. So they'll set up like one lifeguard tower that's maybe like 30 yards with like flags,
Hmm.
and they want you to swim inside there, right?
They want
And
you to? Like, is it a rule or
yeah, like
is it just
it's like
intended?
a state beach, so like they want if you're swimming, they have no authority, obviously,
Yeah.
but like if you're swimming at this beach, they want you in. That's where the lifeguards can like watch, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I know how lifeguards work. I'm Australian.
Yeah. So they, of course, like we're outside the lines because we
Of
like
course.
go to a certain area because there's less people.
Are you
So
sure it's
they'll
not
just
because you're
like,
Aquarius?
yeah, it's partially that. But like we've like I've gone to this beach since I was a kid, so like we go to the same spot, you know.
Yeah.
And they'll just like whistle and like tell us to go back, and then eventually what happens is the lifeguard will come down and like tell us to go back. But what?
What? They're
Oh,
they're
so
just a.
she comes over, she tells like my kids to come out, and like we were with like a couple people too and their kids, and she's like, I'm like, guys, being the asshole I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's there, and I go, guys, come out, and then once she starts walking back, just go back in, like
Mm-hmm.
just
Shit
and then
stir.
like yeah, and then that she goes back, and then she comes back and whistles again, and it's like we're not getting out of the water. You have no authority. Like, just leave
That
us
pisses me
alone.
off too, though. Like, that's who the fuck? Why do they think that they get to like? Okay, so in Australia, it's like if you go to the beach, they'll have like some beaches anyway. We'll have like the flags, and if you swim
Yeah,
outside of the flags, you're just less likely to get fucking saved if you start drowning. That's it.
yeah,
It doesn't have to be that fucking hard. Why do they want you to? What the fuck? They're just gonna make you not swim anywhere but in the flags? That's insane.
I know. And it's like my kids are swimmers. Like they all know how to swim, and they're not even in like water that's over their head. It's like chest high.
Mm.
Like there's waves, but it's like my kids know how to swim in the ocean. I'm watching them. I have like four parents watching them. Like just shut the fuck up.
Yep. I know. I back you on that. I want to dig into the trigger, but like also fuck that.
Yeah, such
There's a trigger
assholes.
there, but I can't. I can't like. Why neutralize that?
Yeah. So that's where were we before that? Oh,
Star seeds.
no, being rough with people, weren't we?
Oh yeah, it's PDA,
PDA.
right? It's
Yeah.
fucking you being told to do something that you already feel like you're trying to do or consciously choosing to do. And so, what pattern is that from your childhood?
But I told you I know I'm going on a lot of different story tangents, but today
It's
I
fine.
I have a couple triggers today
Mm,
we can get into. Um, so I saw my dad. I talked to my cousin. I think I talked to you, and my cousin called me, who I haven't talked to in a long time, and he's
mm,
supposed to be coming up. Like my whole family has like a cabin upstate in the woods, and we were gonna go there for July 4th, and I was gonna see like some of my cousins, and we were just like bullshitting, talking, catching up, and then I saw my dad, and I was telling him I was talking to my cousin, and we were just talking about like life, and we were talking about raising kids because I feel like my parents are triggered by how my kids are very like open with how they feel
mm.
and like how they talk about things. Like my son will tell you like, I don't like that you're saying that, like, or he'll like stand up for himself.
I need
What?
to hear specifics because you said he said I don't like that you're saying that, and it's like okay, that's his trigger.
I forget what
Like,
it
what's the
was.
scenario?
um I don't remember, to be honest.
All right, we'll move on to the conversation that you had with your dad.
Yeah, so I was saying like my daughter Anna is very like loud and like open and like how she feels and just like is a lot for people sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was like talking about her to me, like kind of like judging how she is.
Mm.
And I
What was
think I
she
told you
saying?
this. Uh, like she needs to calm down. She needs to like chill out. And she was basically saying like how good of a kid I was, and that like I barely even talked, and like she would leave me somewhere, and I would just stay where I was, and all this stuff. And I just said to her like, yeah, it was probably because I was scared or I didn't feel safe, or
Mm.
comfortable. And she got like really triggered by that. So then I was talking to my dad this morning about it kind of, and he was saying that she would like tell me how to think,
Mm.
like what to believe or what to think, or because I was saying to him, we were talking about like religion, and just like I was saying to him, like if you had a belief because of like an experience you had, that's fine. Like if you were like, oh, like I had a near death experience and I saw Jesus and like I realized like I should go to church, like, and I feel that connection. But if you're just
Mm.
like, oh, I go to church because like my parents went to church, it's like you don't really have a belief. It's like you're conditioned to think that's what you need.
Which is a belief.
Yeah, but it's not like a
It's a negative belief. It's not a positive one.
or is it not a sincere? Is it like authentic? Well,
Of course, it's authentic.
yeah. Well, I don't want that belief.
I
But
know.
yeah, he was just saying how like she like really brainwashed me
Mm.
into like what I believe and like how to act, and like would just like really like push me in different directions by like her own beliefs and like reinforce things.
Mm. How did it make you feel?
Um, Kind of like, I guess like sad. I guess I would say.
Yeah. I heard the grief in your voice when you said. What makes
Yeah,
you sad about it?
because I feel like how like just like how many things did I like shut down within myself because of like how I believed, like something that has always bothered me is like uh her mom was like my initial like guide,
Mm.
when she was like the first person who really came to me in spirit. And I loved her. She was a great grandma. She was awesome. Like she was always good to me. I always felt so loved by her. She was probably honestly, she probably is the person I felt the most loved by in my life as a
Mm.
kid. Like I remember every time I came to her house, she gave me a hug, and I could like feel her hug. Like even now, I can feel her body. Like that's how much that hug meant to me.
Mm.
And like she was like the type of grandma, like you go to her house, it was like a 4-course meal. Like, oh, you're
Yeah.
hungry? What do you want? Like she would fucking bake you like food from scratch and like basically just make you feel comfortable, make you feel safe, you know, just whatever you needed. Um,
Mm.
that being said, like she was my mom's mom, so it was like kind of, you know, supported to like be in love with her, and kind of like my mom wanted me to like be connected to my grandma, you know?
Mm.
And my dad's mom, my mom would always talk shit about,
Mm.
like that they're weird or they're different because like from one side, like my mom's side of the family was very like loud, obnoxious Italian, and my dad's side was like this very like more like immigrant, quiet, stoic Italian.
Yeah.
And his mom, my mom would always talk shit about and say like they're weird or whatever. But me and her always felt like connected. She was very like into spirituality. She would read a lot. She was very into like books. She would always talk to me about like all different books. She would get me books, and like listen to what I said in terms of like what I like to read, what I was interested in, um, you know. And I always felt like we had a really good connection, but it was never like nurtured because she was like outside of my mom's reality.
Mm.
So like I always just think about like how would I be if like certain things were kind of like nurtured instead of like shut down.
How would you be?
I don't know, like I love to read, and I feel like as much as like my grandma Anne, which is my mom's mom, as much as she was nurturing in maybe some aspects, they weren't people who like nurtured like academia, or like not that I want to be in academia, but like they weren't people who like nurtured like knowledge or like thinking about things. They were more doers. They were all like blue collar, um, you know, kind of like capitalistic, consumeristic people.
Mm. More external than internal.
Yeah, and like my grandma on my dad's side was somebody who was very internal.
Mm.
Like she was very precise with her words. She was very well read. She like sat and thought about things, you
Mm.
know? And I feel like I'm actually more like that. Even though I appreciate like the love that she did give me, I was more into the internal.
Yeah.
And that
So
was
you feel
always
like
kind of
you've
shut
lost out.
down.
Yeah.
Well, it was always shut down. Like it was always like the focus on like what you were doing, and like like, what are you going to be? Like, what are you about? It's like, what are you putting into instead of like kind of focusing on what's going inside of you. And that's probably because of like, if you look at them, they're the ones who lost a dad. They're the ones who didn't want to look inside because they had
Mm.
all this trauma. So it makes sense. Like, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to have these toys. I'm going to have a big house. I'm going to, that's what's important because it takes the attention away from looking inside.
Yeah. How did she shut you down? Like, how did she do it? Can you tell me some stories?
How did she shut me down? I think she would just try to like nudge me into directions, like, hang out with the cousins that are in her family.
Right.
Like do things where like we're with them more often. We're doing, you know, like my uncles always had like boats and jet skis and like summer houses, and it's like we'll do all those things, where like I remember enjoying like sleeping at my other grandma's by myself. I would like, she had a spare bedroom. It was full of books. I would like read. She would just leave me alone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like a trait that my mom's side had was always like checking in how you're doing.
Mm.
Like, are you okay? You need anything? Like, it's like, I feel like it's almost like a unconscious like programming of being like, well, am I okay? Like you're always like, it's like a neurotic thing, like,
Interesting. So it registered to you as more nervous than caring.
yeah, like, like, do you need anything? Like, I don't know, do I need anything? Like, where like, I feel like my grandma on the other side was very like at peace with herself. She was very
Mm.
like stoic and just like, she wasn't like stoic in the sense of like hard, but like stoic in like this like internal peace. Like she didn't need
Yeah.
anything. She had the same
Mm.
couch for 70 years, you know?
Okay.
She
And you
didn't
kind of
spend more than
idolize
a
that.
hundred. What?
The lack of need. You idolize it.
Yeah, because I like that it's like like, what do you really need?
Well, what do you really need, Pete?
What do I really need? Probably freedom.
But I feel like you've got a lot of other things that you are constantly chasing.
Yeah. What am I constantly chasing? I guess money.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Um, I don't know. I think I always feel like I don't have a direction. It's like
Mm.
I'm always trying to look for like where I'm supposed to be.
Do you really feel that at the moment?
Uh, I don't really feel it lately. I
Yeah,
feel more at peace lately.
because you got direction.
Yeah, I feel like this is good. I feel like I'm understanding, like, from doing the shadow work with you. Like, I'm feeling like I understand a little more. It's like a little more clear. But I would say most of my life I've always kind of felt like that. You
Clear
know?
or directionless?
No, like always looking for direction.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of something that ties to this too, because it's like I feel like the reason I was always looking is because like I felt like maybe I was conditioned to believe like I wanted this direction, but like my internal self knew that I really didn't want this direction, but like thought I did.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like a contradiction.
Maybe also so many parts of you got put in a box that you couldn't have told what your direction was to begin with.
Well, yeah, like you don't really know who you are. Like, how could you know what you want if you don't really know who you are?
Exactly. And that's a process of integrating all of you,
Yeah.
remembering who you were genuinely as a kid underneath all that.
So, can I throw a whole wrench in the mix and probably take us off
Absolutely.
topic and maybe trigger you as well?
Oh, wrench. Yeah.
So what in this is like bringing up stuff with your dad?
What in this is bringing up stuff with my dad?
Yeah, because I'm feeling it. It like came into my energy.
Please hold.
Yeah.
There was only a moment in this whole thing where I was focused on anything to do with myself. And I was thinking about how we've both found this direction coming into each other's lives. You know what I mean? Well, to be like, I actually started with this direction. Like, I know I've known for ages that I wanted a podcast, and I tried to start it with a whole bunch of different people, and it never really panned out. And I was like, okay, this direction is like, it feels very like it. You and I were talking about the fact that you've known where you've wanted to go for ages, but it never really happened, and now it feels like it's kind of happening. And there's
Yeah.
like the podcast and direction and stuff, but I wouldn't have related that back to my dad whatsoever.
I don't know. Like I was talking to you and I feel like the same like solar plexus energy on my right side. And it was like obvious and then I felt um like guide energy kind of step in. That's why I said something. Or
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't have.
Which guide? What? Like, give me
I
some
feel
more
like
details.
I just feel like your guide, like a guide energy, like they just come
Mm.
through and like feeling and symbol, you know?
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. And then I felt like this like energy stir up in the same place I always feel like your dad moon kind of step in. And
I
so I wanted to
don't
say
know. I mean, we were digging into your mother wound, though,
no,
right?
I know. I'm
Like,
just I don't want to throw a wrench. I that's why I was like I'm gonna throw a wrench, but whatever. Maybe
you know,
something
I'm
else
happy
will
to
come
hear
up.
it. I just, I don't know. There are. I feel like if we get further into mine, yours comes up. I feel like if we get further into yours, mine comes up. Like it's always like this push
Yeah,
pull thing.
this intertwined threads.
Mm.
Okay, don't mind my wrench. We can go. We can keep going.
Put it back in the toolbox.
Yeah. Okay. Um. So yeah, I guess like the contrast between them was like this like internalized self and this externalized self, and I
Mm.
feel like I kind of judged where I was at for a long time by my externalized self, but I
Mm.
was more of an internalized person. You know, like I was never a flashy person, but
Yeah.
I think I thought that the externalized stuff would make me happy.
This is very Cancer Capricorn axis as well, which is your south and north node.
Yeah.
Um, you know what else actually came up before to like revisit this wrench? Um, I was thinking about how in your childhood you always had people checking to see if you're okay and if you needed anything. And I was like, oh, that would have been nice.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting? Like that kind of bothered me.
Really?
And well, no, but like I don't know. It's like there's
Oh, you mean
like,
them checking on you?
well, I think like, it's like we all have our different lessons, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like to them, to you where you might have felt like alone, like for me, they felt like kind of like a smothering, and like it was more of like because it was, they were both insincere for both of us, because it was
Yeah.
like you might have not felt, held or taken care of, but for me it was like it was like their own neuroses
Yeah.
were
And
being
this is why
forced.
intention matters.
Yeah, was being forced onto me.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, so juicy right now. Okay. So, this is why intention matters, because if your family genuinely only checked in on you when they were thinking about you rather than being anxious about your state of being because of their own wounds, it wouldn't have felt invasive or smothering, because it would have been exactly synchronistically the right moments in which you needed to be checked in on as a kid, right? Then on top of this, we have this beautiful like representation of why I have anxious attachment and why you have avoidant attachment, because your family fucking smothered you and mine like did not give a fuck about what was going on for me whatsoever. Like they were gone and I was like hungry for them. Amazing. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah,
A fucked up little universe.
it's interesting. Yeah, so
What'd you see?
what did I see? What?
Yeah. Your wheels were turning.
I was just thinking about how like that's why I felt connected to like my grandma on my dad's side, is because she was somebody who I felt like genuinely like checked on me when I needed it, instead of
Yeah.
like when she needed it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. This is like when we have a genuine care rather than we're trying to like get our own needs met, like unconscious emotional needs met through other people, especially our children. Um just everything, like the world just gets better, when we're all conscious. I just love being conscious. Shit.
Yeah. But I think that's what kind of made me angry, is like she, or sad, was that like she shut a lot of things down that I actually cared about,
Yeah.
and she was more worried about like her cares or her needs,
Mm.
you know. And it's just like I'm sure there's things like I'm not even aware of that she was kind of pushing on me, like those were obvious things,
Mm.
and still like I got programmed by it, like believing certain things, like, oh, maybe they are weird, or you know. I don't know.
I mean, I can see the entire pattern. I feel like you're like hesitant to kind of step into it.
Step
But
into
I feel
how.
like how we were doing the work the other day with your inner child and like
Yeah.
actually stepping into the emotion, like identify, like I feel like we've done a lot of like kind of stories and ranting and like circling the thing, but ultimately it's like you felt like you were altered, manipulated, influenced with effectively negative intent, even though it was presumably unconscious on her part and she didn't actually intend to like hurt you in any way.
Yeah. I mean, because it's like part of me, like I think gets scared of like I just don't like the feeling of not knowing that I'm like, because I feel like for so long I had like beliefs that really weren't mine, and I
Mm.
wasn't aware of it. And it's like I really don't like the feeling of like thinking there's something I don't know, like that I don't obviously see.
I mean, I'm kind of the same. I have had that pattern, still have that pattern. You don't want to be fooled. You don't want to be gullible, kind of thing,
Yeah.
manipulated.
Yeah, and that's why I think
And
I keep my, one foot halfway out the door in a way, Like even my
yeah,
wife, who I've known for, 20 years now, like I feel like it took a long time for me to like really be all in.
wow, how long?
Long. I would say
Oh,
after we were married.
that's wild.
Yeah, because I just don't feel like you never know, like I don't know. There's always that like voice in the back of my head.
Sincere trust issues about being programmed. And yet you know how to navigate using triggers and resonance, right?
What do you mean?
Well, like you know how it feels when something lights you up and you know to follow that.
Yeah, but I think like I don't know. There's always like this like thing in the back of my head where it's like I don't know. Like, and then I think it's like I attract cancers or emotional people because I feel like emotion is what like actually like manipulates me the most.
Mm. But it's
Because
not
it's
theirs,
like,
it's yours.
no, I know it is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like my personal way of being like I feel like I could be manipulated is like if like somebody comes to me with a lot of emotion who's like sad, I feel
Mm.
responsible for it.
Yeah. Because that's what your mom did.
Exactly. So it's like that's why I feel like those people can manipulate me easier because I do sincerely want them to feel better. So it's like I feel like I'm open to like whatever they need.
Yeah.
So it's like I'll get sucked in to their story because I'm like I want you to feel better. Like whatever you want me to do, that
Mm.
you're not hurting anymore, or that's I feel like that's my child self how like the child views it. I I know intellectually, like logically, it's not necessarily true, and I'm starting to like feel that it's not true. But it's
Mm.
like there's that child trauma where I feel like, oh, this person's upset with me, or they're upset in general. Like,
They're
how do I
upset with
make them
you.
feel? Yeah,
That's the keys. You feel like it's your fault that they are upset, right?
yeah.
How did it feel when you were a kid and your mom was like really upset and she made it your fucking problem? Like, tell me about that.
Well, I feel like obviously she had a horrible relationship with my dad where she couldn't actually like talk her emotions out or
Mm.
like go to him with like, oh, I feel this way because they couldn't. So it's like, I feel like I was stuck kind of holding space for her,
Mm.
but not no being mature myself
Yeah.
or like no even like you could go to people who like trauma dump. It's like um now I could be like, okay, like I understand you're going through something, but I'm not here to be like your trauma dump. I can stand up
Mm.
for myself. Like I understand what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I'm a kid, I don't she's my mom. Like it's almost
Yeah.
like there's the responsibility comes from like the hierarchy of like a family or like the belief system of believing like, you're responsible for your family in some way.
Well, um, really to a kid, it's probably more like You knew that your survival depended on her. And
Yeah.
when our parents like are breaking down and very non-functional, it feels really fucking scary. It feels really scary to be a kid and have your actual like well-being reliant on other people, and they are effectively demonstrating that they are not in control of their realities, of their beliefs, of their manifestations, of anything. And that's all hitting us. My throat's playing up. And and it's safer. In the end, it's safer for us to believe that somehow we are responsible for the fact that they feel that way, because then we have more control over our realities.
Yeah. Hmm.
So how did it feel to get into, you know, the meat of it? Like that level of, I guess, distress and like panic, I would imagine, at seeing like your literal caretaker be completely non functional.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've probably like when I was younger kind of focused all the anger like at my dad because it was like it was his fault in a way. Like I was kind of like siding with her.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the older I got, I think I got more angry towards her because it's just like I'm tired of like the weight,
Mm.
like the heaviness.
I would say it was both, because in any scenario, like your dad really should have been also aware of the fact that she was putting all that on you, and been the actual man and stepped up and like attuned to her emotions and helped. And
Yeah,
she
he
should have been,
wasn't around,
exactly.
when I was a kid. I don't remember him being around a lot. And then the older I got, when he was around, he was like detached.
Yeah. And angry at the same time,
Yeah, he was
attached
just
in
like
different
watching
ways.
TV by himself, like just angry and
You know, it's always a mess. It's always a confluence of all things. If you like, I feel like with you, it's always more successful when you tap into spirit. Is there anything like that you can feel in like the family lines through your grandmothers, maybe related to this?
I don't really feel anything. I feel like my throat.
Can you zoom into it?
Yeah, it's just like I feel like I don't have a voice, you know?
What would you want to say if you had a voice?
Shut the fuck up. Like, like leave me the fuck alone. Like, let me just be a fucking kid.
So, anger.
Yeah, definitely.
You ready for it?
What, a yell?
Yeah. Rant.
I,
Get into it. So, shut the fuck up.
yeah, shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. Like, give me space. Um,
Is this a good time to bring constellations in?
oh, would you want to do that?
I don't know what it is, but if you give me a real
I
quick.
feel like, no, I feel like we should do that separately. We'll do that another
Okay.
time.
All
It's
right.
very involved.
It's very involved. Okay. Okay. So,
And
we're
it's
pissed at
harder
mum.
remotely. It like, yeah. All right. So, am I feeling angry? I feel like I don't feel angry right now, though. Like, I feel
What if I
pretty
get really
good.
sad? What if I just
But
started crying and then you told me to shut the fuck up?
no, I don't want to do that. I don't think I could do that.
Feel into your throat again. Ask the trigger to come back. Ask the wound to come back. Ask your guides to bring in the emotion as much as possible.
Yeah, I want to feel it. I consent to feeling it fully. I want to feel it all. And I want to work through it. I saw the Ninja Turtles. So this came into my head. And now I'm hearing the song Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I feel like you must have been watching the Ninja Turtles around the same time. So
Probably,
this
because I fucking love the Ninja Turtles.
was.
I actually saw somebody with a Ninja Turtle tattoo today. And he had Donatello. Like, who would pick Donatello as the tattoo? Like, obviously, it's either Raphael or Michelangelo if you're going to get a Ninja Turtle tattoo.
What's the rat called again?
Splinter?
I thought that was the bad guy.
No. Shredder was the bad guy.
Oh.
You wear like the same hood as Shredder, kind of. Are you secretly Shredder?
Yeah, I'm the bad guy.
Okay.
I'm just like ultra manipulative mom trying to make your life worse.
It it feels like my throat's like closing up.
Yeah.
Um,
Why does it want to close?
and I feel like energy on the back of my shoulders, like weight. It closes because it's like it doesn't want. It's scared to like talk or say something or speak up.
What will happen if you do?
I don't know. Like I think it was scared on my own terms. Like I don't know. Like if I necessarily felt scared from my mom. I feel like it was more of like an overwhelming feeling.
Yeah.
Like she was too much to be able to speak up. Like she felt like urgent in what she had to say. And I didn't. And I also feel a lot of like solar plexus energy kind of coming up. Feels like uncomfortable, which is like boundaries to me.
Hmm.
You know,
Well,
solar
this is the
plexus.
thing, right? Like you didn't get to have boundaries with her.
Yeah. I didn't even have a choice.
Yeah. So of course, naturally, you've swung hard into the other pole, where you kind of like push people away a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't ask for help. It's like something that is something that came up today.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to like ask people for favors or help or and then like I feel like there are people I should be able to like ask and I just can't.
Is it the same wound?
It feels like it. Feels tied to it. They also tend to be Pisces, so I don't know what that means if that's something.
Mm.
Um yeah, I feel like a lot of energy in my like chest, solar plexus area. Just feels like I want quiet and now it's tapping into my mom. Like I could feel like my left shoulder, which is always like representative of like mom's programming to me,
Hmm.
or shoulders should, you know, like how you should be. But I feel like I don't want to be whatever that was, like that whole experience.
I think just for a moment, it's better to be it. You'll,
Yeah,
I'll, you'll pull yourself back out, and if you don't, I will.
be in that experience.
Hmm.
I feel my grandma now. My mom's mom. I felt like she just told me to escape. I don't know. That's what I heard.
Escape.
Yeah.
Escape what?
The Matrix? No, I don't know. My mom?
Your mum's mum told you to escape your mum.
Yeah, that's what I saw. But I mean, really, it's her responsibility a little bit, no? Too?
Yeah. How do you feel like the way that your grandmother raised your mum created what happened in your mum?
I think I think that my grandfather dying, they never dealt with the trauma. They never really faced it as a family. I think my grandma like shut down earlier, like when it first happened, she shut down for a while and kind of like forced them to kind of be on their own and be like kind of like abandoned them a little bit.
So they got doubly abandoned. Dad died and then mum shut down.
Yeah. And then she kind of like turned it around and kind of tried to bring the family back together and would like, cook Sunday dinners and do that stuff. Um, but I don't know. To me, it always felt like she was very like guilt driven in how she like reinforced things.
Yeah.
Like I'm your mom, you got to do it. Like that type of dynamic, which I think reinforced like structures and belief systems of my mom's, which like kept her rigid in like her beliefs and like what she thought people were like the roles of who people were, and I feel like my grandma
Yeah.
would use my mom as somebody who was like responsible for how she felt, which probably passed it
Yeah.
down to my mom that made me responsible for how she felt.
Yeah. Children, like raising children,
Yeah.
basically.
But I feel like there's other things that I'm not aware of.
Can
You know
you
what?
point me
We
towards
can
the
try.
gaps?
You
Constellations?
want you want to try something that like is basically kind of like constellation,
Sure. Whatever you
and
want.
you can do the work.
All right.
Okay. Can you see this thing?
Is
Look
it
at me.
clear quartz and copper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. It's gonna work. I could tell.
Okay.
Shit. Fuck.
What?
It's already working.
What is it?
Oh my god. Okay, you ready? Because I think it's gonna be intense.
What's your emotion? That's fine.
Whatever happens is gonna be intense.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
There's something hidden here. Okay?
Yeah.
This thing that I'm holding in my hand represents whatever's hidden.
Okay.
I am consenting to this being whatever is hidden. What do you feel in this thing?
Like I feel like afraid,
Okay?
uncertain, it feels like a fear of the unexpected. That was already
Okay.
coming up when you started reacting.
Okay.
It's like you have no idea what's about to come next, or like that's
Okay.
how I felt.
All right.
If it feels like, I mean, like you felt like you were afraid, and that kind of reflected into me. I was like, what? Uh, like that you could get reactive, like angry, and project it,
Okay.
and that there might be something in me or that I've done that deserves that.
Okay. All right. So that's representing the unseen emotion. Okay.
Okay.
See this thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I want this to represent um, whatever happened to cause me to feel that way, or my mom to feel that way.
Okay.
All right. So I consent to this being whatever.
It's anger. It's rage.
Okay.
It's fury.
I feel like I feel something that I don't know if I feel comfortable saying.
We don't have to put it in the podcast.
I feel like I know something sexually happened to my mom when she was a kid,
I fucking told you. I told you.
but I like had the full awareness of it. Like I felt it.
Yeah. That's why it's bouncing off of us.
So that's constellation work, though.
Well, that's cool.
But you basically, when you do it in person, you have physical people who like they actually become like messengers for your family. So like basically like I would say, okay, like you're playing my mom.
Yeah.
Like so like say we're trying to address something, anything. It could be abundance, like
All right.
and then you say like, okay, I open the field and I want to work with my family on like any issues of abundance that stems from like my generational trauma.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I would
Let's
go, oh, what?
explain it. Explain it later. Let's go back to
Yeah,
the
sorry.
go,
I don't know why I did that. Maybe
go
because
back
it's
to the triggers.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, your mom
Um,
had unprocessed sexual trauma and it was like pouring out of her in twisted ways that she couldn't identify with, and therefore it never actually went away. Who did it?
I don't know. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
You want to tap in?
Yeah.
Buddha is going to play whoever did it. Okay, I anoint Buddha as whoever did anything to my
I
mom.
keep wanting I keep wanting to say her father.
Yeah.
That just like I feel sick about it.
You know, it's fucked up.
What?
I felt the same thing. And I would never think that in a million years.
Fuck me dead. Ooh. That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
It gives like a whole extra context to his death. Like a whole extra. No wonder she didn't want to feel it. Could you imagine like grieving the person who fucking molested you?
Yeah, but it makes fucking sense.
I know. I know. See how all these emotions are logical under the surface? Fucking hell. That's crazy work. That's next. We just like did that. You were playing that role. Oh my god. You
I
were playing
can't
that
believe
role for
this. It's
her.
true.
Yeah. Dude, that's oh my god. That's why it was your fault.
That's it fucking makes sense though.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I don't know. I don't even know what to think right now.
The layers of this that are downloading like across every fucking dimension of this pattern. Oh. I feel like I'm fucking processing this. Oh. Oh, how you doing?
I don't know. I think I'm in shock.
Understandable. Sorry, I keep laughing. It's just so much to hold.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Oof. Let's ground this. Oh, and the solar plexus. And the throat. Like, it was the same pattern. It's the same pattern. Like, she couldn't say anything. She didn't have a voice.
Yeah. Kind of in shock. Because it like clicked and made sense.
That scream you did, like, remember the first time right after I had you primal scream and you screamed, why?
Yeah.
It's like double meaning.
Yeah. You know. Whew. Makes so much sense. It all makes sense. I don't even feel sad anymore.
What do
I
you
feel
feel?
like I feel good actually, but I feel like kind of in shock because it like all clicked.
That was fucking insane.
Like, how could I deny that? Because like part of me is like trying to like deny it.
Why do you want to deny it?
Because it's like he like it never clicked for me, and it's like I understand it all.
Mm.
That's probably why he doesn't come to me that much. I never got why he doesn't come to me. Maybe he thinks I know. Or like, I
Well, you
don't
do
know.
know, and
No,
time
I
doesn't
know, but
exist
I'm
there.
saying like, I don't know. Maybe subconsciously or unconsciously I knew.
Well,
Because it
of
just feels
course,
so clear right now.
because you took what he deserved, so to speak. Like you got the backlash for what he did.
Yeah. But I don't even know what he did. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Are you sure? Because I knew just looking at a picture of her.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just still processing it to like really, it like just made sense. You know?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking to someone who had to grapple with returning memories and whether or not they were true.
Yeah. Well, it's just what's crazy is like her like idolization of him.
Of course.
But why, of course?
Coping mechanism. Like, the dynamics that can happen in that type of thing are next level fucked up. You know?
And now I'm like, do I say something to her?
Maybe, yeah.
Do I ask her?
Look, when you kind of process your portion of it, you'll just know whether or not it's right. And I'm imagining that it will be, but because this gaining of consciousness isn't just about kind of mastery over self, it's also about uncovering all of this hidden stuff collectively and individually. Like all of these secrets are literally coming out to be seen, all of this shady shit that's been going on. It's like it's meant to be acknowledged, it's meant to be conscious. We can't keep hiding it, all these patterns.
Yeah. Hmm. I guess we'll find out. I don't know.
I can't believe
I
you've been
feel
carrying that guilt around for so many years for something you didn't even do. Like that's literally the reason why all of these like hyper emotional cancers, presumably with fucking sexual trauma, have felt like the ultimate fucking guilt trip.
yeah. It's interesting. Because like when I feel like I met my friend Vincenza like as soon as I moved out of my mom's house, and then she kind of went away, and then I met Ruby, and then I feel like I kind of like I love Ruby and I'm her friend, but we like felt kind of disconnected, and then I kind of met you.
Yeah.
So weird. It's not. It's the universe, but
I
so
was always going to be someone who could like fucking do all of this shit through. And I have the corresponding wounds that you've helped me through as well.
yeah. I knew it was going to be an intense podcast tonight.
That was fucking a lot. That was incredible though. What the fuck is constellation work and why haven't I not been doing it my whole life? Like what? You
That's
just
why I
picked up some
said to you, like,
objects?
I feel like it would just be like such a great way of like seeing it. Because I think what it does also is it kind of allows you to see it more from like an observer perspective,
Yeah.
you know? But I felt like I knew constellation work would always be something that I was into because just doing it on my own with like different stuff, like it really moves energy well and allows you to kind of give voices to things that don't get voices.
Yeah. How does your throat feel now?
I feel good. I definitely feel like something cleared out of me, you know?
Fucking hell. Uh-huh.
I feel my solar plexus is still something going on there. I think there's still like some anger.
Can we do it again?
Do what?
The
Oh,
constellation work.
yeah, we can. Um, Hold on a second. All right. So what you're supposed to do is also like disengage them. So like this is no
Okay.
longer the unconscious thing. This is no longer the unconscious emotion,
Right.
and this is no longer whoever hurt my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So then, whew, I even felt it leave. Um, so basically, like the way you can use it, or like what I was thinking with you, and like how you can use it is like if you're struggling with somebody, maybe you don't even necessarily have to be struggling with somebody, but like say, um, like for me, like, okay, I have this unresolved anger, right? And maybe
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable connecting to it or I don't know where it's coming from. Then you can be like,
We need to do it for me
okay,
as well. Oh man, I'm just gonna live doing this for the rest of my life. Um
now, or
uh
you want to.
we should finish up yours first. I feel like we can get into mine
I mean, we could do it this
later.
weekend, like, and take time, and we don't even have to record it, like, just do it.
Record it for posterity, but yeah, we don't have to publish it.
Um, so yeah, so like, you can be like, all right, this candle skull
Mm-hmm.
represents my, you have to always like anoint it. Like, okay, you represent where my unresolved anger is coming from.
Where you're on, like yours,
Me
Pete's. Mm-hmm.
personally,
Mm-hmm.
where my unresolved anger is coming from. In connection to like my mother wound. And then you kind of can focus in on the energy. Okay, so I'm getting something, and it's interesting. You know what I love is when you do this, and it's like obviously some other outside consciousness like influencing this because the answer isn't what I thought it was going to be.
What is your answer?
I got that I'm angry at my dad for letting her do it to me.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I felt. That's the first thing I felt. But I'm also feeling like a ton of pressure in my left shoulder.
I'm
What do you get?
uh a lot of sensation around everything in my downstairs.
What, like,
I don't know, like only like when I looked at that skull and when I tapped in, my intention was drawn to my whole, I don't know, genital area. I would say that, and I can feel energy like flowing into it.
okay.
Like,
So angry sexual energy?
yeah.
Or like sexual energy is making me angry?
Show me the skull again and ask the question again.
Where is my unresolved anger coming from my mother wound?
Uh, you know how you feel like your dad should have been there to step in, like
Yeah.
to protect you from your mum?
Yeah.
And this is a theme that has come up with all of my sexual trauma as well. Your mum
Yeah.
should have been there to protect you from yours. That's what I got. I felt sick. I felt it in my throat. And
All right. I don't know. I didn't. I really just felt like I felt like anger, and I saw my dad.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
let's go with that. Let's go with that.
no, I mean, I like if you felt something, you felt something. Like I want to acknowledge it. I just didn't.
I think it's both. Honestly, I think it's both.
Okay.
Cuz like and this is something that I've been talking about with that client of mine. Uh like your parents are both meant to protect you from each other in a way and other
Yeah.
people. So like you kept saying that my mum should have been there to protect me from my sexual trauma, and the same thing applies to you because that's what mums are meant to really be attuned into is like the fucking sexual energy of people's interest in their children as well. I mean, amongst a plethora of other things, but
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to feel it. Like I don't.
it's okay. It might be too soon.
I still think I'm kind of in shock for my grandpa, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I feel like kind of like I don't want to say disassociated, but I feel like kind of more in my like astral body. Like I'm trying to ground, but I feel kind of like when you have like an epiphany and you're just like, wow, like that makes total
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Try tapping into Ayers Rock. That's the Earth's solar plexus, or Uluru.
Yeah, I don't know. It's maybe like I don't want to, I'm thinking, am I like don't want to feel it because I'm like, if I feel it, it's like making it true.
Okay.
Like I don't want to think that's like what because then like also I kind of like, I feel like I would go, part of me would go back to like really feeling sorry for her if that's like the truth.
And you want to be angry at her.
Yeah, maybe that's why I can't be angry too.
Mhm.
Because like if that's true, then it's like I feel bad because I have tortured her a whole life.
Well, it's both. You know, all of our individual stories are true, and we're all playing villains and heroes and whatever for each other. Like, what happened to her can be true and horrendous, and also she technically had a responsibility to you as her child to have processed that and not projected it onto you because she was projecting her dad onto you and her anger and confusion and hate and betrayal and idolization and whatever the fuck else. Like I mean you're it's paradox, right? It's holding paradox. You can feel sorry for what happened to her and still be mad about what happened to you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess that's still part of my mother wound is I feel more bad about it happening to her.
And like when you say you feel bad about it, what do you feel? What emotionally do you feel?
Because I like, there's a part of me that really antagonizes her.
Oh, so you feel guilty for antagonizing her, not bad for her.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. I feel guilty. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, because like I've been hard on her because of like all the shit she puts on me. You know, it's like a vicious cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go like back and forth because I'm angry at her for like acting like her family's perfect and all this stuff. And it's like there's all this shit, you know?
Because if she acknowledged that her family wasn't perfect, it would have opened just a little bit more of the door to remembering whatever happened to her.
Yeah.